Hey, what's up? It is Whistle, and welcome back to Timberborn. The last episode we left off and the dry season was approaching, which you can see is finally upon us, so it is going to last for 3 days, which means 3 days of no new water. So we're going to start out by pausing this water pump so that way we're only having one beaver pump water. That should be enough to get us through the the dry season rather. And I don't want to have all this dry up because then all of our crops will wind up dying. So let's get into today's video. We're gonna start it up at 2 times speed. We are almost done waiting on these little power wheel to start. We got 2 more logs left, so that should just be another few minutes. And then we're going to move on to our lumber mill build, which we should have just about enough wood for once these are good. Once we get the lumber mill, and as you can see the water is starting to drain because the dry season is here, so all this land is turning from green into the yucky gray color here. Anyway, once we get this lumber mill back up, we are going to build a forester. The forester is going to let us plant trees, as we discussed in the last episode. I did get a comment from a viewer asking for more close-ups on beavers, so here you go. Here is Ditted running away on the little beaver wheel. That's not powering anything, but we don't have to tell him or her that, because they don't need to know. And while the lumber mill is wrapping up, I'm going to go ahead and get this a higher priority so that gets built a little quicker. And then we are going to start thinking about where to put our forester here. So I know I said it might wind up going up here. I'm actually thinking that this little 2x2 will work out wonderfully once we get enough science points for it, because it'll be off of the green stuff, so nice room for planting trees without taking up much space, and it should let us plant trees in most of this green section here. And we can work on expanding this farm as we get a couple more beavers growing up. So I'm actually going to cut this here. And we'll knock down all of that as well, so that'll still leave us some emergency trees if we need it. But otherwise, should just get us wood a bit quicker. We do have a beaver that just got employed there. So as you can see, once wood gets brought in, starts turning the wheel, we're going to start getting some planks. And the planks are going to wind up getting stored up in our storage up in the top left-hand corner of the screen. Just love this little animation of them just running away on the wheel, not care in the world. So I think I'm gonna start to work on, while I'm waiting for some science points to start up, I will knock down one of these builders so we can get a scientist going, and then we'll just open that position back up again for when these children grow up into adults. And we're gonna start knocking down some of these berry bushes. I don't want to go crazy quite yet, just because I don't want to run out of food, because this is the scariest part of the game in terms of resources, just because you don't have a whole bunch in store. So should something happen, like both of our farmers mysteriously die within a few days of each other and can't get it filled, yada yada, these will go unpicked, and if I don't notice that, our whole colony might wind up starving, and that's not fun. So once these gets cleared out, I'm going to work on putting another farmhouse up here, I think. This looks like a good spot. So that's going to get all of this green area. It'll just allow us for a lot more farms in the future, especially if we start to think about expanding up here. But for right now, we're just going to extend in this green area here. And I'm going to just get rid of some of these tree stumps here, because I don't like how they look on the ground. And again, remembering not to get any saplings along the way, because those saplings will turn into wood for us relatively shortly. And by clearing this, it will also give us bit of a better idea of what we have going on, and you can see up at the top that our drought has ended, so not much concern there. First one's usually short. After that, they do get a bit longer, but 3 days is pretty easy to get through. So I opened up this water pump again, so we will be able to employ somebody once someone grows up. And other than that, you will start to see this little river over here is starting to become green again. There it is. I love that effect as well. Just so pleasing to watch. And as that is going, this river should be filling. Yes, there we go. And nice little waterfall on down. It'll meet and wind up going up the map. Yeah, so I was thinking in between episodes, there are stairs in this game, so we'll be able to eventually wind up coming down here. I might have some of our industrial stuff here, so I might put a couple water wheels on this little stretch of river, just to get some lumber mills and some other stuff for future use, just because I don't want to use up too much of the space for that, when I could rather use it for housing and storage, since it will be at the center of our little city here. So while this is all going, that is built, so we're just waiting on those guys to become there. Our small warehouse is full, actually, so we're gonna pop another one. Let's do right there. May as well just get 2 queued up, just so we can just have plenty of extra storage space for the future. And I'm actually gonna get to work on building a couple more houses as well, so we can start to increase our population here. Where do I want to put them? We could, not there, didn't want to do that. We can just go ahead and put them right on here. That'll get 2, so that'll wind up giving us 6 more beavers once everybody's grown up. And these buildings, the houses, the warehouse here, we can build stuff on top of them. So if I take another house, I can put it on top, you know, to create a little apartment style living. I will need stairs and another building called a platform in order to do that. A platform basically just raises the level up 1 from where you're at, and it'll make it so the level that the roof is on right now is walking. So I could put right over the walking path, have houses over all these, and just expand without taking up all that much more space. And it looks like we are about 9 science short for our forester. So once that becomes unlocked, we'll build that, and we'll be able to get that done pretty quickly, because you can see we do have more than enough planks here. And we will be able to get enough wood, because at this point I don't mind knocking down most of this here, because we got to clear it out anyway to plant the kind of trees that we want. And once we get this forester down, there is no need for any more saving of this wood, because the forest will just be able to plant any wood we need it to. And thinking of that, I'm going to delete this little pathway here. Just make space a bit more available there. And we are at 60 science, so we're going to go ahead and unlock the forester. It's our first unlock with science. I think it's the most important one for long-term survival, just again because you will be able to grow as many trees as your heart desires. And as you can see, all of the planks already got deposited, so we're just waiting on 10 logs. So I'm going to just go ahead and just mark all of these trees here to be cut. And let me just get these stumps as well. And then as soon as the forester gets built, I will show you what is going on with that. But it does work pretty similarly to a farm, except instead of, you know, potatoes and carrots and the like, you will be able to plant trees. And in here, there's going to be a lot of space for wood, so wood shouldn't really be a problem for a very long time with just this little tiny amount of space. And I'm going to also just increase the priority of this little set just a little bit, because I want to get that cleared out so we can start doing some farms. Because we do have one here who is prioritizing harvesting, so he's going to work on all of these little carrots that are already grown that we're just waiting on. Because I believe I made the field a little bit too big for just the 2 beavers there, but we're going to go ahead and plant. Actually, let's do some potatoes. We'll get going on that. So we'll plant a small field of potatoes, and then in order to cook the potatoes, you do need a grill. So the grills make grilled potatoes, and it will turn 1 potato into 4 grilled potatoes. So I tend to like to put these right near the farmhouse and also near storage, just that way when potatoes get picked, nobody has to walk too far to get the potatoes, and then once they are cooked, they can go into storage relatively easily. So it speeds up everybody's time, makes life a lot easier. And where is this? That is halfway. So why don't we actually mark that up a little bit? So this will get all of the logs going into it first. Just because I do want to wind up getting this built. And this needs to get destroyed as well. Let's add 1 more builder there. We're just going to wait for one of these. Oop, I guess we don't have any more babies, but once a baby gets born, we will wait for them to grow up to become another builder. And there is a builder's hut that we can unlock here if we had enough science points. That will just allow us to employ 4 more beavers. So that's something that it will help us out a lot, because all these green lines here, those are the range that the builders can reach from our district center. The further you go out, probably out to about here, they'll start to become orangish red, in which I could probably show you guys. But then they're just not able to build as well. So we're reaching the end right here. So anything much beyond that, they're not going to be able to build. So we will need to build another hut at some point just to employ a few more. Where's my delete? Get rid of all that. Okay. So we're just waiting on a bunch of things to wind up getting destroyed. Let's get all this set for being demolished now that our forester is built. And I think I'm actually going to go ahead and chop down one of these builders. Yes, so we will get employed at the forester, and we can start to go on that. So I'm going to just start planting just a few here. And again, the same rule does apply with these trees as with the carrots from the first video. If there's any tiny little bit of green on the square, they will be able to grow. So I don't... Actually, that is green, so we'll plant these. I'm planting maples right now. I just want to get those started, because they do take 24 days to grow. And 24 days is forever in this game. So we'll get this little row going. And then I think I'm actually going to just get a couple rows of birch up here. Again, just so I can get a little bit of wood a little bit quicker. As they wind up growing up, it will help out with just building some smaller projects we have that we need to do. And then once the maples wind up getting grown in, we're going to just basically have endless wood. I'm going to mark all of these as well to get destroyed. Oops. As I undid all of my birches there. There we go. There we go. Alrighty, so I am going to cut real quick and just wait until all this gets filled in, and I will be right back. Alright, and we are back, and we're following Illa here, our little forester. They are going to work planting trees. All of these are maples right now, so just because I did put those down to be planted first, but it looks like we're going up to the birches now. But their animations are so awesome. I could stare at them all day and not play the game and be totally happy, but they would probably not like that too much, because I'm sure they would like, you know, food and all that stuff. But anyway, since this is almost done, We have been going for a little bit longer than normal, so I believe, and especially with this dry season coming up again, I think this is a pretty good spot to end today's episode. So thank you all so much for watching. I really hope all of you have a great day, and remember to do something kind today.